Watch and burn.
Hey everyone, so tonight I would like to discuss Harmony Korine's Trash Humpers. Now this, I read a few reviews where they referred to this as being Harmony Korine's experiment in clearing out a theater. And whereas on one hand I get where they're coming from, on the other hand I couldn't disagree more, because this is sort of a throwback to Korine's earlier filmmaking period where he produced Gummo and Julian Donkey Boy. Visually it has the same aesthetic, it has the same feel, it's as dirty and it's as gross, except the characters in this movie are so much more vile. Like, they're just about the most appalling people that you could possibly come across. There are 4 of them, including, I believe, Korine's there, his wife Rachel is there, and a couple of their friends have come along for the ride to help them film this. And it consists of the 4 of them wearing those like old person masks, like the full headpieces right onto the shoulders that you would tuck under clothing. Now, of course, these people don't bother to actually conceal the masks because I don't really think for a second that they're attempting to convince anybody that they are elderly. These masks are a lot along the same lines that Jackass used to use back in the early Irving Zisman days, prior to them ending up getting an Academy Award nomination for Bad Grandpa. And they just roam around, as Korine's character puts it, choosing to live like free people. And what living like free people entails is getting drunk or high all the time, having simulated sex with various waste receptacles, entries, as well as potentially murdering 2 people. The old guy that they were hanging out with initially on the bridge, the guy who was wearing the old maid's outfit, reading his poetry while they were lighting cherry bombs. It cuts, the next scene is them in somebody's house, and the old guy's laying dead on the floor with blood everywhere, and one of them is like licking the blood. So I think that they definitely killed that old dude. I'm not sure why. I don't know why these people do anything that they do, but nonetheless, there's one murder for sure. And then at the same time, at one other point in the film, there's somebody being suffocated while everybody's like at like a birthday party, I imagine. And I think they're being killed, or at least that's what we're led to believe. And then there is a 3rd naked body of a man out in a forest somewhere that Korine's character films. The other thing that I really liked about this was Korine actually went as far as to source out legitimate 1980s era over-the-shoulder camcorders in order to shoot this film on VHS, because the point of this was this would be something that you would find along the side of the road or the highway or something, and you'd just be like, oh, what the hell is this that I found? And you took it home and tossed it in a VCR, assuming that you still have a VCR, and then you would be sort of thrown into this world of murderous debauchery, and it would sort of be like a big culture shock. The same thing sort of happened with Fubar, with the first Fubar. Nobody really knew if it was real or if it was fake, because they did such a good job on making it seem genuine. And that's what Korine was going for here, was that this would be a handful of murderous psychopaths VHS tape that you could stumble across somewhere and have. Korine even went as far as to vandalize and repaint a number of better known VHS copies of movies. And then he, of course, removed the cassette for said whatever bigger movie it was, and he inserted Trash Humpers in there, and you could order these for a very limited time. I think there was like 30 or 40 of them that he did, and maybe a little more. I don't remember. This is going back a bunch of years. And if you were lucky enough to get your hands on one of those, you could consider yourself to being incredibly fortunate, because that would not only be like a VHS copy of this really twisted film, but you would also have like a designed by the hand of Harmony Korine cover and case as well, which would be awesome. I really like this movie, despite the fact that the people in it are absolutely vile, and not just the 4 principal protagonists, antagonists, I don't know what the hell to frame these people as, but not just them. The people that they hang out with are gross too. The dude with the clarinet, God, his toes, like the toenails were so fucking disgusting. And that seems to be the theme of this. And like I said, this is a throwback to Korine's like Gummo era, where everybody was gross and dirty. And I love that, because by this point Korine had cleaned up his filmmaking technique, sorry. And it's nice that he was able to sort of go back with such ease back to his like earlier classic period, where he churned out Gummo and Julian Donkey Boy. And like the Diary of Anne Frank Part 2. And so I really appreciated that, and I like how there's no traditional narrative. There's no start, there's no middle, and at the end, they steal somebody's baby. They go into their house while they're in the shower, and they just walk off with their baby. And I have to say that these 4 people should not have a baby. I mean, they're gonna fuck around with it. When they get tired, they're just gonna leave it in a ditch somewhere, if they haven't dropped it 50 times. So, yeah, this movie isn't for everybody. This movie actually is probably for a very small percentage of the population, and maybe even a smaller percentage of Korine's fan base, because this movie is just so loose and so wild and so off-putting. Like the guy that's telling all the jokes, but they're really just, it's a bunch of homophobia run wild and there's no punchlines. I mean, I doubt that guy was an actor. I think Korine just goes out into the world and sources these people however he does. Because I know that he said that he cast the majority of the people in Gummo in like an hour. He just went down to like a meat packing plant or a slaughterhouse, and he just waited outside and just started. And within an hour, he had pretty much the entire cast of Gummo ready to go. So I think Korine has a knack for just sort of finding these really weird, gross people and then putting them on camera. So I think I'll leave it there. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little over 7 minutes while I discussed Harmony Korine's Trash Humpers. If you liked this review or discussion or whatever this was, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. You guys are amazing. Have a good night. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button, because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe, and we will see you guys really soon.